take you on a little journey today. We're going to go to a trip I took to Phoenix some time ago to visit a good friend of mine, Gary Haller. And the first stop we had when we were out there, we had a lot of stops here and we did a lot of traveling. But the first stop we had was at the Hall of Flame Fire Museum. And this place was really, really something. But the real interesting part of the time we were there was it was the Halloween time, and the kids came out and they really put on a wonderful show with smoking the place and giving out candy. But they sat inside the fire engines and that, and they had chutes built to where they slid candy down to the kids, which was really, really cool. So you saw the engineer of the fire truck, and the kid was able to get some candy and that. But this place is really something to see. It's one of the finest Hall of Flame fire museums in the country. I mean, this place has, I believe it's somewhere in the vicinity of around $10 million worth of fire apparatus from the past. And they actually have, I have to mention this, they have the buggy and the pumper that was used in the 1871 Great Chicago Fire. So the Great Chicago Fire, 1871, they got the pumper and the buggy that the fire chief rode in on his way to the fire. But they have displays of all kinds of beautiful paraphernalia. Here's my friend Gary. One of the really interesting things at this museum is they have a display of all the firefighters that have lost their lives fighting fires, serving the public. So it's really, really an interesting place to go to. If you're ever in Arizona, you're ever in Phoenix, this is a must-see place. Gary and I ended up at this place because Gary hit the only pothole in Phoenix and blew out a tire. So we're here on the road to traveling. We did a lot of traveling, but we're at a restaurant now. It's called Buca. The food was just excellent. It was out of this world. This restaurant started in Arizona back in the 30s, 1930s. So they have a lot of really cool memorabilia on the walls. I shot everything I could while we were waiting for our dinner. The food, like I say, was unbelievable. You know, we think Chicago Italian food is the best, and it is. I love it. But Buca had lasagna that was just mouth-watering. It was really, really something. And all of these figures and statues and everything else they have, the pictures they have, are really a part of history. Great place to eat. If you're ever in Arizona, I think it was in Scottsdale. Definitely travel there. Now, we drove through the town of Scottsdale, and it's an older town, and it really is something to see. When you look at these buildings, these structures there, you can tell they're vintage. They're not late model. They're not from the 70s or 80s or even now. They're from back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. So, got some footage, and the reason I'm showing you all of this is because I actually did some footage with my camera, my first time with my cell phone, my iPhone camera, and video camera, and tried to shoot some stuff. And I think I did a pretty good job. But here are some of the really cool businesses in Phoenix, in Scottsdale, Arizona. And here we are traveling again. Now, I'm going to tell you a story of what we did, which is amazing. We traveled about 8 hours. He's in Phoenix, Arizona. We traveled about 8 hours to go to Yuma, Arizona. And Yuma, Arizona is right on the border of Mexico. So we crossed the border. We actually did some shopping, this and that. Yeah, a little story for you here. Uh, Gary's up in his 80s, and he had surgery on one eye. He had a cataract surgery. Gary's doing all the driving now. So this is really cool. But he had cataract surgery, and it messed up his one eye. He can't see out of it. It's all blurred. He can see, but it's all blurred. So we ended up in Yuma, Arizona, and I wanted a pair of glasses for myself. And I was at the time where I needed a new prescription, a new pair of glasses, because I wasn't seeing things right. They took care of me right away, and the glasses I got were just, exactly what I needed. Let me put it that way. But then Gary went to see the optometrist, and one thing led to another. They put him in a pair of glasses where he could see out of the one eye that was messed up, but the other eye that was really unbelievable. So here's some of the stuff that we encountered on the road. It's really cool. My trip to Yuma, Arizona, and Phoenix. Chicago is our inspiration. Richie Z's Chicago is the only storyteller. For an unforgettable tour experience, discover Richie Z's Chicago History Tours up to 6 people. We pick you up and we bring you back. Book a tour with Richie Z by calling 312-841-2560. Check out our website, Richie Z, at Chicago History and Automotive Heaven, RICHIEZIE.com. Call 312-841-2560. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our website at RichieZ.com. History presentations at your location. You can also book Richie Z to come to your location and do a Chicago history presentation. Call 312-841-2560. So here comes Sunday. Sunday in Phoenix, Arizona, about a mile from Gary's house. He goes to church every Sunday like I do. So we went to church. Here's the pastor of the parish that he belongs to. The guy's actually from Poland, so I had an interesting conversation with him. But this church is a modern church, but I love what they have on the walls and all around the church. And you're going to see some of the things I shot when I was out there. Some of the things that they have on the walls and that. One of the things I saw there that really amazed me was they put up a big video screen, and they put it in a really good place where people could see and sing along and everything else. This piece of artwork was really fantastic. I love it's all stained glass. But here's a shot of the church. And you know what? So we ended up now at the Martin Auto Museum. We did a show on my website with the whole Martin Auto Museum, but this was part of the trip, so I ventured to put this in right now to show you the Martin Auto Museum in Arizona, and it's another must-see. They actually bought an old Kmart, and they filled it with cars, and I just have to tell you one thing. I love all the museums I've done. I've done 20 of them now, including the Martin Auto Museum on my website. But every one of them is unique in their own little ways. But this one, I love it because he's got a little bit of everything. And you've heard me say that before, but I love that kind of a museum where they show you stuff from the 1800s through today. And that's exactly what they do at the Martin Auto Museum. We really had a nice time in Phoenix, Arizona with Gary, my Haller, my friend. I hope to get out there again. He's had some issues with health and stuff like that. So I hope to get out there again and visit with him. And we'll go from there. This is a classic shot I got out of the window of the airplane flying back in over Midway Airport, into Midway Airport. And the skyline of Chicago is just really fabulous. So I was really trying to get some great shots of the city of Chicago flying in. And I think you're going to see some really cool things. So I'm wrapping up the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next time for another episode of Chicago History and Automotive Heaven. Thank you for watching. Chicago is our inspiration. Richie Z's Chicago is the only storyteller. For an unforgettable tour experience, discover Richie Z's Chicago History Tours up to 6 people. We pick you up and we bring you back. Book a tour with Richie Z by calling 312-841-2560. Check out our website, Richie Z, at Chicago History and Automotive Heaven, RICHIEZIE.com. Call 312-841-2560. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our website at RichieZ.com. History presentations at your location. You can also book Richie Z to come to your location and do a Chicago history presentation. Call 312-841-2560.